Hi, it's Miniature Modeller Paul with an update on my HMS Nelson 1 200 scale. Now I've gone a little bit further now. I did have trouble with the mast, the three-prong mast at the rear, the tripod as I call it, and although it fitted perfectly when I test fitted before I'd done all the painting and when the bits and pieces on the deck, it didn't want to fit in when I actually went to do it. So I had to do a bit of filing with a round file just to get the actual slopes they go down in to make it a little bit easier, and it did eventually go down. And really frustrating because I had the mast so all that pee on, and I knocked a piece off under one of the two gun platforms. I think they're both gun platforms, and we'll find out later. But basically one of those, a little bit of pee support underneath one of the gun actually came off, and of course that was really awkward because I'd already glued it in position as well, and then I had to turn it all upside down to try and get it and do the gravity bit that Ron Calvary uses to get it in place. And what I did then is I've actually run a bit of slightly dotted a thick super glue underneath there, and then pushed it in, slid it along, held it there for about a minute and a bit, and then it held in place. Then once I knew it wasn't going to move, I turned it over, and then I had to repaint it black underneath, and that's what I've done. Now the bridge is still not on there, but it could have gone on before this video actually. But so most probably the next thing afterwards will be to position the actual moving forward, the actual bridge structure on top of the upper decks that actually goes onto the ship, this section. And I really like, because I decided to use Ron's method basically, is to build that section up completely separate and then glue it on afterwards. And the good thing is any rigging that I can do some of that when it's in the short section. Now the case I was using to actually house it in was this one over here, and with the mast it just went above and it would have broke off. So I used another ship for another one of my from 1/350th ships to actually do it, because that went above the height for the actual mast, which was brilliant. So that's okay now, so I can actually keep it covered when I'm not working on it. Now I have done some other little bits and all. I've done the crane and sprayed that. Now I was going to put some glass perspex using the micro crystal clear in the crane window, but I thought to myself, would they want glass there? Would they just have it open, because it's got a protection when it's not being used? It's got a metal door that closes off. Now I'm not sure. I'm going to look into that if I can. If I don't know, I will leave it empty, so you can actually put those inside. Will still be protected by the weather and the wind, but his view would be perfectly viewed through the actual open orifice at the front of the actual the crane box. So yeah, so the crane's been sprayed. All those bars I was talking about last time, they've all been glued on to the actual PE supports, as you'll see in a minute, and they've been done and sprayed. And I might go in there with a bit of grey paint by hand and do underneath, but because of the angles I sprayed, you can't see any of it when it's sitting down on the actual the tile it's sitting on. Anyway, so without further ado, we'll go down to the actual scene and see what I've done, and catch you in a couple of seconds. Right, let's get my I'll get a cocktail stick, would be easier. This is basically it. Now I've actually painted the mast actually the black. Now that was all done by hand, and I used Vallejo black, which was obviously 7950, so that was Vallejo. I like the Vallejo for hand paint. I did water it down with water, just give it a bit more, and gave it 2 lighter coats. I also down round the outside of frames. Now I left, because I used paintbrush, I could leave the inside of the actual platforms the ship colour, which I'm presuming it will be. So that's what I've done. But what I have got to do is put the white stripes. I think there's, going by the actual instructions, is what I'm trying to find out on a photograph if I can see it, but there's a white stripe comes between these two pulleys. Now I didn't use the PE ones in the end, because basically I should have done that before I actually put it together, so never mind. But they look nice, they're black anyway, and I'm going to do a white stripe around that one, and then come over and do exactly the same there and round. Now I'm not sure whether the ladder would have had it, but we'll see. But that's what's got to be done, and I can do that because it's all on there. As you can see, it's on sitting in this bit anyway. So I've done that, and this is the area I had to do. I had to both these areas. There's just a bit of white plastic showing through, which I'm going to touch up with a very fine paintbrush when I finish this video. So that's that. Also, I haven't got the boat bits on yet, but I have got them ready to do, and you can see see them over here, and they've got the kit and put the number there, so I get the ones in the right position, so that's okay. What I will show you is the crane. The crane has been done. I'm not going to see it in view, but you might see it in a couple of seconds. There we go, that's the crane. It's been done, but you can see what I mean by the window. Now, do I put crystal clear in that or not? I don't think so, but if I do, it'll be easy enough job to do. So it looks quite nice. I've got to do all the rigging for the crane itself, so that's got to be done. So that's bit done. I'm going to bring, whoops, I'll put it over there out of the way. I'm going to bring this bit in now, because it's easy for me to do, and hopefully it'll focus. But there you go. These are the bits that have been done. Now this bit stands up in the instructions, it stands upright. I'm having it laid down because I've seen photographs of it laying down, and what I did is, you can see it's actually off the ground, and the reason is I used the roller at this end, but that end I actually cut two bits of circular plastic into it and put them inside the brackets, and then this sat up higher, which was what it wanted to do, because it would turn on the pivots anyway. Whoops, put on the pivots. So they've been done, and also these have been done, as you can see, ready to go on the ship. So that's been done. Right, let's move along. I'm not sure, I think that's about it. So basically the bit that this is in permanent fixture now, that's definitely gone. And that got another hard job to get that on, but I had to repaint the actual mast. Good thing is about using this thin with lacquer paints, you can run it over it, and basically it dries very quickly. And this bit, I've got lacquer thinners in here, Mr. Colour lacquer thinners, and because I prefer that, and because it's ready to, I can spray it and brush it, it's okay, and it covers up. And I had a few blemishes I knocked around here, and I've done that as well, so that's okay. Now I'm just going to move her along a bit. I'm not sure which bits I've seen and which bits I haven't, so anyway, if I do it like this, whoops, that's it. Come like that. Sorry about this moving. I mean, what I do when I do the final reveal, this will be downstairs on the dining room table, all on the ship as well. So that's all been done, and all this has been sorted out, as you know. I still haven't put it on the mast on the top, although I can. But if I can rig some of that first, then I will do that. These are some masts I think I've already shown you in there. They're all done, and that's all been done. So I've been working. It's just a case of it's been a bit slow. So the white I'll be using for the mast bit, black mast back there, is this, which is Vallejo again. Whoops, don't want to knock into it. There it is. That's what I'll be using for the white. And believe it or not, what I found is, because I touched up the grey, I found that inside there, when I want to touch and get rid of the black, inside those the gun ports on the mast, I found that this colour and this colour match perfectly. They were perfect match. They're both sea grey, dark sea grey, and it worked perfectly, and you couldn't see where I painted by using Vallejo paint anyway. So that's quite a nice thing to know for the future. So there you go. So I've been doing a bit of that, and if I come a bit further, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think really we're on the move. I don't know whether I had these spotlights up round here or not. I've got two over the other side, but I don't want to put the guns up there until I'm actually ready to actually put it on onto this bit, which is the next bit. I think that'd be the very next bit now, and then I can start working on the boats around the side as well. So that's the next bit as well. So really happy so far. It comes. It's come out, and I think you can see if I don't know if you can see the mast better this way. Give you a bit more. Yep. And you just got to be very careful with it. I've glazed all the windows on. That's another thing I've done. I've glazed the windows on the mast bit, on the where did I do it? That's good. Forgetting when I've done it now. Glazed all the windows around on this bit as well as on the OK cable, and I've got a few things I've put on there. I don't know if it's going to work. Glaze the windows. I've got the badge on the front, which I'm going to put. Try to paint that one off and go a bit nearer. There you go. I'm going to try and paint that. So that's okay. But you can see all the glazing, all the portholes have been glazed. And I did do it from the inside, but in the end I found that I had to go to the outside to do it. And you can see the part with the rangefinders that are actually, oops, with the PE bits on it. In there. You'll get a better view when we get her out there. But anyway, she's coming along nicely, and I thought I'd better do an update quite quickly. So there you go. We'll get her away as I spearboat from another one. So yeah, so let's get this back in and bring the crane in. Even though the crane's not going to go anywhere on this bit, it goes actually on the deck. I'm not even sure whether the crane would have been on it during wartime, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to put it on there because that's where it goes on the main deck, because it will add a bit more detail. But I have got to rig it, as I said. Anyway, I can't think of anything else to say apart from the fact, like I said, I've got a few touch-ups in there to do great. Even though you can't really see them from where I'm looking now, I couldn't even see them there. But when you go closer, you can. So there is a post goes in there as well, which I've got to do now. Now I've got this in position firmly, I can actually put the post in that goes in there as well. All the gun platforms, all the guns will actually go on after she's on the ship, because I can, or after, yeah, basically after I've done the ship and put this on the main deck. Yeah, so I think that's it. I can't keep saying yeah, can I? Anyway, so thank you very much for watching. This is just a quick update, but just to show you. Excuse me, I've got to sneeze now. Excuse me. And she's coming along nicely, and I suppose I don't want to put any time limit on her. I've got the boats to go on. That's another thing I've got to do, is put the boats on there and do the rigging for off the funnel as well. So there's a few bits to do. So I'm not going to waffle any longer. I think it's time to call it quits. So thank you very much for watching this. Thank you for my subscribers, and any casual viewers I get as well. Really enjoying this build, and also looking forward to finishing it as well, because obviously then there's another model coming on afterwards. But as I said, I've got 2 or 3 ships to do, a bit more than that. I've got the big Arizona 1/200 scale, the great big platinum edition from Revel for the Queen Mary 2, the Ocean Liner. I've got that to do. I've got the 350th Yamamoto from Tamiya, which is a good kit. I've got the King George V. I've got the carrier, World War II carrier and 350th, the Enterprise. And I've got a pocket battleship Graf Spee to do, which I'd love to see in 1/200 scale. If that did, I would definitely get that boat, because my ship, because it's I love the film, the River Plate. Apart from the bit on the wireless they're talking about when they leave in port, because that's keeps going over and over, but the basic film is fantastic. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to call it quits now, and thank you very much, and I'll catch you at the next one. Happy modelling.